So that kind of brings us into like the all-time teams because you're going to kind of have a bunch of different eras here.
Yeah. I think there's definitely one era that
the 90s is our by a mile. For me, from like 95 or 92 like
2002-ish
to like 2002-3.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's kind of go through them. So we'll just start. Let's go catcher first.
All right.
Who do you have?
I have Kellen.
Same. It was him or I think Zunino.
Zunino actually surprisingly was up. I thought it was gonna be Dan Wilson by a landslide.
Mm-hmm.
Like just that's what I thought. But then I looked in a little bit. I was like, yeah, he was fine.
He was very average.
Is pretty dang good.
Yeah, Cal Raleigh, and literally like after I think it's Softy, who's a ESPN host for Seattle. After he hit the home run against Hader over the weekend or whatever on yesterday, he was like, just give him what he wants. He's the best. He's the best hitting catcher in baseball right now.
It is solid defensively.
He needs to get some more respect because he's not the name of JT Realmuto or
William Contreras.
Either the Contreras brothers or whoever. But he's freaking good. He's just gotten better and better. So he was like, just give him the bag. What does he want? Because
he's a leader too.
We're all worried about Kirby, Gilbert, and all these other. I get that. We should be. I mean, Kirby has been a little up and down, but now Bryce Miller, you're looking at him going like, we need to make sure we keep him happy. Cal Raleigh really needs to get paid.
Well,
he deserves it. He's played so well. Yes, he broke our curse, which he'll be a cult hero forever. But
for sure, big dumper.
That's very fair. I had Cal Raleigh though as well. I thought the same thing. Dan Wilson, like really good, but just I think he was.
I think he's just a man of the people.
When I feel like but I also feel like he was just on such a good team that brought his name up.
Yeah,
because he was good. I think he was. I don't know his career stats fully, but I know he was an above like 250 hitter. He had a couple of home runs a year. He was a pretty good defensive catcher.
Yeah,
but the fact that he was with Junior Jay Buhner, you can name the teams.
Yeah,
it helped him because if he wasn't on those teams and say you just throw him on some random team like the Angels, I don't think he makes the Angels Hall of Fame. Yeah. And he's in the Mariners Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I think that. First base.
I had Alvin Davis.
Yep. Okay. I figured this would be really close. Mr. Close. Mariner. The only
John Olerud was my
that
second.
was my dad said. So that was a good one because obviously I have a soft spot watching State go Cougs.
I compared the stats, but I was like, there's just no way.
There's no way.
Yeah. So
John Olerud's a good second. He always had the famous batting helmet at first. He was very good. I agree. He's Mr. Mariner for a reason. He was our best first player or whatever you want to call him ever.
In the 80s and early 90s?
I think he was even on the late 70s teams. I think he was like all the way through the 80s.
He was good in the 80s, I think.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it.
He was a couple All-Stars. So he's good. And I agree with that. All right, second.
I impulsed on this one. I should have thought a little bit more. I think I'm safe. I went Brett Boone. But I can't remember. Okay, I didn't look
the
this one
only
up
other
as
one
much,
I had was Cano.
He tarnished his name after he got
okay, but you can't say that with Brett Boone. Brett Boone was on roids too.
But that was like the era, though. That was the era of steroids.
Yeah, but you can't
significantly after.
I agree, but I can't. I'm not going to agree with you because they both cheated.
Oh yeah,
and I get that the rules weren't there, but Brett Boone literally was 36, and out of nowhere he hit 340 with 75 home runs. It was
amazing.
And the year before, the year before he was 220. It was where the hell did this come from?
Good times.
I didn't know anyone else. I thought you had Harold Reynolds.
Yeah, I just don't think
Jose Lopez was very solid for a long time for us.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, I think Brett Boone just overall was the best. Shortstop.
I went with Alex Rodriguez.
Yeah, we're just gonna move on. Yeah. I know we had him for a young time and he was so good, but screw him. We should have kept him. Third base should be easy.
It has to be Seager.
It has to be.
Okay, I almost picked Beltre.
Beltre was good, but he wasn't
Seager played longer.
When I was going to say, and Seager was just a Mariners guy, so you got to kind of give him the edge. Yeah. I told you these are going to be really similar. We have had it's weird too because I feel like we've had a lot of really good players.
Yeah,
but not as much recently. Yeah, the 2000s was really bad. Like you said, the 90s to 2003 was nothing, and now you kind of have some good players again, the last 5 years ish.
Yeah.
Left.
I had Raul Ibanez.
Yeah, there's no one else.
There isn't.
There's literally
left
no one else.
Specifically, there's no one else.
Because I was talking with someone and they were like, "Well, why don't you just put Jay Buhner over there?" I was like, "But he didn't play left."
Yeah,
Jay Buhner was a right fielder.
Yeah,
and I'm not playing that game where we can just move him over there. I'm nice to him.
Yeah.
No.
If we're
and plus, honestly, Raul Ibanez,
he was solid.
Yeah, and he came back 3 times, I think, for us. He was the first one to hit a grand slam at Safeco, or at T-Mobile Park, whatever they call it now.
It's Safeco. Always going to be Safeco.
Yeah, I agree. Center, we'll move on.
We don't even,
Oh, wait. Who is it, Sam? Oh, my God. Who's in center field, Sam?
Well, of course. It's Griffey. He had one bad season, okay? Look at the stats. Fired. He was horrible.
I get it, but you can't put him on there. He's one of the greatest baseball players of all time.
No, terrible season.
Right field, again, pretty obvious. Future Hall of Famer, it's Ichiro. Yeah. DH, again, the award's freaking named after him for a reason. Hall of Famer, Edgar. Now, starting pitcher.
There's 2 options, to be honest with you. I'm curious who you picked, but either option, the only reason I picked the person I did is because his
I had 3
stats
people, but
individually were better.
Yeah, there was 3, but I stayed with one.
It's the era.
I said there was 3 that I went through. Jamie Moyer.
Yeah,
because Jamie Moyer played forever. It was so dumb to watch him because he would throw freaking eephus pitches and no one could hit him. Randy Johnson.
Yep.
And Felix is number 1. Felix is the best pitcher we've ever had.
I picked Randy Johnson, but it's only because the way it's. I need to look at their wins and losses, but
no, you don't. You don't want to look. You don't want to look at. You don't want to look at that.
He had a better team. That's
I was gonna say Randy Johnson has 300 wins, and Felix does not.
If you take Felix on a good team, it's Felix all the way.
Someone said that if you took all of Felix's 1-run games, and obviously super hypothetical, but you flipped them and you gave us the win. Yeah. He would have almost like 350 wins.
Yeah, that's what sucks, is because he just had such a bad team.
2 Cy Youngs? 1 Cy Young, should have had 2. I know he got robbed by either Bieber or Bauer.
I think you're right.
He should have had 2.
He should have had one in
like 13 or 14, but he won one before that.
In 12.
Yeah, it was right there. 10 or 11, 12, somewhere in there. He won 2, or he won 1, should have won 2. He's a future Hall of Famer. He might take over the name Mr. Mariner because he embraces this place more than anyone.
That was a tough one for me because,
that's fair though. You're going Randy Johnson. He's a Hall of Famer too. It's not like you're picking. I love Jamie Moyer, again, kind of a cult guy, super good, played everywhere. But Randy Johnson's got 300 wins. He's got a bunch of strikeouts. He was, people were terrified of him when he came out there.
Nasty.
I also did kind of want to throw out there Gaylord Perry.
I've heard of him. I haven't looked too much.
Neither have I. Stats, he won 300 wins. He won his 300 win with us, but he was not
good anymore.
He wasn't a Mariner for that long. Fair. There wasn't really anyone else I had. You could throw in. Yeah, relievers was kind of weird too. I did only pick one
option for me.
Oh, really? Well, I'm interested because I was still thinking
actually. Oh shoot! If you go to 2000s, I didn't even think about that.
Well, I did because I put Kaz Sasaki.
Yep.
He was, I think, the best Mariner closer we had, and he only was here for 3 years because he got so sick of not being from back in Japan and wanted to leave. But he won the 116 win season. He was just a dominating. He had that year he had a 1.7 ERA or something. He was so good.
I just think Edwin Diaz had the season best reliever, or however you say that.
No, it was the second. It was the second best. He didn't break.
No, in the Mariners. That's what I meant. No,
I agree. And you had Fernando Rodney, of course, had one really good year, and that's kind of where I was you can't put Diaz because Fernando Rodney broke the record.
Well, he played 3 seasons for us, though. That's why I picked
Rodney.
No, Diaz.
Diaz was fine. We drafted him, we brought him in, but Sasaki, I feel was just so much better. I honestly. No disrespect to Diaz, but I thought JJ Putz was a better Mariner than him. And again, I know that Diaz had the 1 year, but Putz was just here longer. I just feel he was better longer. And Diaz, of course, he was used in the Cano trade.
Well, he got rid of so much money.
Yeah, that's why we had to do it to move on from Cano. But I
have Munoz, so it's okay.
Munoz is great.
Different trade, but.
Well, and I think you could get close to starting to argue Munoz or Matt Brash. They have been so good. Yeah, they've been so good.
So good last year.
But I could, and then the only other one that I was thinking of was, what do they call him? That they had a nickname for him. He was the sheriff.
Oh, George Sherrill.
Nope.
Isn't it George?
No, George Sherrill. We got traded for Eric Bedard. That was brutal though.
Wasn't it George Sherrill?
No. Hang on. I right when I get it, it's Carlton.
I don't know.
It's much before our time.
I know who that is though because I've seen him at the Mariners.
He's on our wall of whatever, but they say they have Edwin Diaz. I just disagree, and they have Sasaki at 2. Huh. Jeff Nelson's a great shout too. He was very good. Arthur Rhodes was super good.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why. Wow, they don't have it on here. He was like the sheriff or the...
Oh, Norm Charlton.
Norm Charlton. That's exactly who it was.
Yeah.
He was a monster before he came for us, and he was still good with us, but he wasn't really that good.
Yeah.
But I agree. I mean, I think it's kind of a toss-up between those two. I mean, they're both very good. I think Diaz really had one. I mean, he was good the year before, but he had one super good year.
Yeah.
Sasaki, I feel like just over 3 years was just like
nails.
Super consistent. And that's really it. That was all I had. Yeah. I didn't have anyone else. I didn't really think of any other relievers. I couldn't even think of like another just reliever in general. Like you have like Tom Wilhelmsen was good for a couple years. George Sherrill was good until we traded him to Baltimore for Eric Bedard, and then he was like super good.
Yeah. It's usually how it happens
with every Mariner. There wasn't really a lot of pitchers, but yeah, it's kind of crazy to think that like the only relevant or recent guys would be Felix or Cal Raleigh.
Yeah. I mean, Seager. He retired in 21.
Yeah, I guess Seager's kind of recent.
He actually had his best years last. Well, it depends on how you look at it. He had 101 RBIs, which is the most he ever had, but he hit 212. So
he should have. If he just stayed, dude, without the shift, we would have been so money. He has a Gold Glove.
He's so good.
Who do you think's the best Mariner of all time?
Griffey.
Oh, see, I argue this till I die. I think it's Ichiro. The fact that Ichiro came in his second year, he broke the hits record.
Yeah.
After his 10th at bat, he never batted in his career below 300. Well over 3,000 hits.
It would be interesting to look at Griffey's just Mariner stats.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Because he gets the rest of his career he honestly sucked. I mean, he had like 1 or 2 good seasons in Cincinnati.
The Reds,
But I do think if Julio plays his potential, he can be better than both.
Well, I would agree. Right now he's so up and down. He had so much potential, and that it almost seems like he's kind of like getting to his top. And someone was saying like, "Oh, what a disappointing start to the year." And I'm like, he also is batting like 275. Yeah, he has 1 home run, which sucks.
Yeah, but he hasn't found his power yet.
Yeah, but it's also like he's still batting 275. Yeah. Like that's any team will take. I mean, put him at 35. Any team will still take a 275 hitter.
Yeah,
So I find it easy or interesting to see who that is. But yeah, I think Ichiro just edges Junior right now for me. I think Ichiro should be a unanimous when he gets inducted. I think it's next year.
Griffey should have been. That's so stupid.
Well, that's just East Coast bias.
Yeah.
I think Ichiro should be unanimous, and I think Felix should. I know Felix will probably be a year or two wait.
Yeah, I think he'll get in, though.
I think he will, too. But I think Ichiro should be unanimous. I think Ichiro, probably besides Albert Pujols, is the best international player to ever play in baseball. I think Ichiro still, right now, is the best Japanese player, but Ohtani is catching so quickly.
Well, he's a two-way player, so
it's kind of unfair to compare.
Yeah, he's basically doing 2 seasons at once. So.
Yeah, it's apples and oranges.
Yeah.
And I just think Ichiro, I just think the fact that Ichiro played here for whatever it was,
at least 10 years?
Well, in the Mariners he did because he won 10 straight Gold Gloves. But it was like 15-ish years in MLB when he was 28.
Played like 5 or
more.
6.
I think it was more than that. I think it was like
maybe
almost
it was like 8.
I think it was like 8 or 9. I think his whole career was close to like 20, 25
That's
years.
Impressive.
So that's what I think is a big kind of gives him something. And again, I think where everyone's like the hits don't matter, but I'm like the Japanese hits, he still had 5,000 in like freaking 6 or 7 years. And then you put another 3,000 or whatever the hell he did in the baseball. He's got 8,000 hits, and that's like 2,000 more than Pete Rose. And I get it. It's not MLB pitchers. Blah, 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 blah. Japanese pitchers are probably, I mean, like the top. If you compare the top Japanese pitchers to the top MLB pitchers, I'm taking Japan.
Yeah, recently at least.
Hugh Darvish, Ohtani. You have Yamamoto. You had
Imanaga this year.
Yeah, he's been good. Yeah, and I mean, you had Iwakuma. You had what was the guy's name? Played for us. Went to the Blue Jays. Kikuchi's a solid pitcher. You had the guy from Daisuke Matsuzaka. You also had the guy on New York forever, the Yankees.
Oh, Tanaka.
Yeah, it's like those are some.
I mean, they're solid pitchers.
I get that you still have Kershaw. You got Verlander. You got names to go out, but I just think Japanese pitchers are just getting a lot better than us quickly.
Yeah, for sure.